was sort of a prodigy pianist. Did well at lessons, started at age 6 or 7, somewhere around there. Before long, I'm playing in bars at the age of 14. Had a band that was doing really great, and we were on the cusp of stardom. We were gonna be rock stars. We were so close. So the band breaks up. I'm 32, 33. At a particularly difficult year, I think that year I made $12,000 for the whole year.
So I've got about 3 decades of experience in Texas government. Went to Texas state government and was in and around a lot of political circles locally. I loved serving Texans. I had a brain tumor that was discovered the day after Christmas in 2009, and that was a real wake-up call for me. I made a decision after that was dealt with, and just had some amazing surgeons and people that were involved in my recovery, but made a decision then that I wanted to turn my life over to not just serving Texans, but serving God's children.
So it's time to get a real job. I had interviews at 2 places, and the first place was a software company that even to this day is the premier music software company. I feel immensely unqualified, but I'm starting to get sort of a big head at this point. The other job I had applied for was kind of on the back burner, and it was a church that had called for an associate music director. And I was not really interested, but again, we have to have a real job at this point with benefits and everything else. Did not get the other job, surprise, and started working with the church, and that was 24 and a half years ago, and I can honestly say this has been my passion and my calling all along. This has been where I needed to be.
I wouldn't trade the experiences of serving the public interest. Now I get to serve God's interest, and they're very, very similar in a lot of ways. So much of what we do is about collaboration. In some cases, like-minded organizations collaborating, in some cases, not like-minded, but all with a basic principle and tenet of doing good.
And being where I'm at now, I love the opportunity over 24 years to take art, to take the stories that we all have and to amplify them. And sometimes it's the sad stories. Sometimes it's the hard things. Sometimes it's loss and grief. That's the adventure to me. That's the real thing. You don't need to manufacture, it's right in front of you. And it's God's presence, God's reality in all of this. It comes from the great creator God, and we're in this symphony together. We're in this master film together.
I started recognizing the grace that God had given me throughout my life, and how He'd embraced me with that grace for so many years. So what we try to do now is recognize that grace that's been given to each of us individually and organizationally, and do something with that grace. Acknowledge the grace, but also spread that grace and spread God's love to the marginalized and the vulnerable throughout our communities.